Okay, here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. So, good evening to everybody across the Facebook universe. So, good evening to everyone on Facebook, whether you're on BWTM or BWTM online. Thank you and good evening for watching this video. Please do smash on the video. Please leave your comments in the comment section. It's there, and I will definitely get back to you on those comments. Good evening to everybody across YouTube. Shout out to everyone across YouTube. Those who are on Twitter watching this, good evening to you on Twitter, which will also be Periscope. And finally, to our Twitch viewers, good evening. Hope that you're well. Okay, so I think I've said good evening to everybody. And we're going to get into doing some talking about this particular fight. Martin Bakole versus Sergey Kuzmin. It's a certainly interesting fight. So for just before I continue, don't forget, if you've got an Android phone, download BWTM Online TV on Android. It's absolutely free, and you can get to watch all the stuff across the BWTM universe. So you never have to go to YouTube again, basically, to watch BWTM stuff. It's all there, updated regularly. And if you have an Amazon Fire Stick, wow. We just recently launched our Amazon Fire, Amazon TV network. So BWTM Online TV network has been launched. And we've got everything from sports to entertainment, news, current affairs, community, travel. Yeah, so you can check that out as well. So, right, let me make sure that all is well and good before we get started here. I'll make sure that my sound is good. I'm busy talking here. I don't know if my sound's working. Let me check my audio. Yeah, my sound's good. Right, so we get on. So let's get into this one. Sergey Kuzmin, Martin Bakole. So on the outset of this fight, a lot of people talking in the trade about this fight being a 50-50 fight. First of all, shout out to Billy Nelson and Martin Bakole. I met Martin Bakole about a year and a half ago in London. He's a big guy, but Martin Bakole, and Bakole, and I met his trainer Billy Nelson. So lovely group of people you could meet. You know, in terms of Bakole, one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet in British boxing. And you know, Billy Nelson's definitely a character. Has been on the channel several times. And then you've got Sergey Kuzmin, that highlighting the fact that he in the amateurs he stopped Joe Joyce, dropped him in the amateurs. Stopped Joe Joyce in the amateurs, dropped him, put him on his seat of his pants, and stopped him very early, I think in the first round. And then he retired David Price as a pro. I remember sitting here talking about Sergey Kuzmin, and they put him against Michael Hunter. And Kuzmin can punch, but being a puncher isn't enough. He's got a decent jab, but bit slow of hand when it comes to a guy like Michael Hunter, who's got great footwork, work his way around the ring, maneuvers and implementing himself. You know, Michael Hunter's an underrated heavyweight, very stylish. He's a nightmare for most heavyweights, because most heavyweights rely on their power and their size, as did Martin Bakole. And I, along with quite a few others, was surprised tonight how Michael Hunter took Martin Bakole apart. And that was the first time I really opened my eyes after I talked to James Uncle Bashir, and he said to me, watch out for Michael Hunter. He's dangerous. And after that, I got schooled, and I came to understand that Michael Hunter was a serious business. But you know, Michael is strange. It's not strange. It's a sad state of affairs that a qualifier like Michael Hunter is not on a card like this, because obviously been released to his contract, and yet Kuzmin and Bakole, both guys he's beaten, are fighting tonight, tomorrow night. Interesting. All right, so let's talk about this fight. Well, first of all, they're saying this is a 50-50 fight. Looked at both guys. I haven't gone deep into their careers, but I looked at Bakole when he fought Marius Vac, who's also on the card, and he was one of the first guys to stop Marius Vac, and impressive performance to stop him. Premature might be, but it was almost target practice. It was, Bakole, Wax head was moving all around like this, was playing head tennis. So that was probably the problem right there, and that's why he got stopped in that fight. In the end, Marius Vac, I mean, Bakole's got good hands, good fast hands, does punch for a heavyweight, pretty durable. But then there's Kuzmin. He as well is pretty durable. He went 12 rounds of hunt, even got dropped. He's a puncher. He's a real puncher. He's a one-punch knockout artist I see in Kuzmin. He's got probably the deeper amateur pedigree and the more experience as an amateur, obviously, what he's done fighting in, a higher level as the amateur, I believe. In the pro ring, I think they're both pro careers. They've got similar records. Both got defeats to Michael Hunter. But what I saw, which was quite concerning for me about Martin Bakole, yes, he does fiddle his way around and throw shots here and there, which is fine. But the problem I have with Martin Bakole is that he has periods of time where he's getting hit flush on the chin, and boxing is a percentage game. And you really don't want to give people like this man, Kuzmin, a chance. Kuzmin could be behind on the cards, and Bakole drops his hands. And the thing is, if you look at the Marius Vac fight, that was a fight where, although he got the stoppage against Marius Vac, he was getting hit himself, and there was a point where Marius Vac was on the ropes, and he hits him with a big left hook. Marius Vac is slow. He's slow. And if he's slow like that, and he's almost ponderous, and he can hit Martin Bakole, and Bakole's got fast hands and can move a bit, and he can get nailed clean on the chin by Vac, then my goodness, has he got a problem against Kuzmin? Boxing is a percentage game, and I think that Bakole's placed the percentage game way too risky for me. Against Michael Hunt, he was there to be hit. And yes, of course, Kuzmin's there to be hit. But out of the two guys, in terms of one-punch knockout power, Kuzmin's the guy who's got the one-punch knockout power. And he seems to work. He seems to be more orthodox in his style, more fundamental in his style. When I mean that, the straight jab, the right hand, the uppercut, the hook. He's really a hooker. He jabs his way in and looks to throw big, meaty hooks. And he's looking with bad intentions to knock you out. Martin Bakole, on the other hand, will throw some punches with not much intent. He's just fiddling around with shots, and they put a sharp, hard punch in there as well. Kuzmin's the guy that when he gets to you, he's looking to knock you out with every blow he hits you with. And that's the difference. And Bakole, if you watch him, defensively, he's very irresponsible. And I don't like to see that in a fighter. A fighter is irresponsible. I don't care how fast your hands are. In the heavyweight division, he is responsible. He's defensively responsible. So unless Martin Bakole has seriously tightened up his game against Kuzmin, I think Mr. Kuzmin is gonna. I'm backing Kuzmin. 70-30 in this fight for me, because unless Bakole is going to keep his hands up and work behind a good jab, educated jab, and use his faster hands to his advantage, if he doesn't do that and he has that reckless thing what he was doing against Vac for the most part, maybe he thought because Vac was slower he would take chances. I mean, Kuzmin hits harder than Vac. He's got faster hands than Vac. And I would arguably say he's a better fighter than Vac. So I'm going with Kuzmin in this one. I think Kuzmin's going to upset Bakole. It's all right being a sparring partner, looking good in sparring. And there's some guys who are good in sparring, but when it comes down to big fights, they can't perform. And I hope that Bakole's best work is not left in the gym or making Anthony Joshua, because Joshua's chief sparring partner, right? I hope that the best of Bakole hasn't been left in the gym sparring with Anthony Joshua. I hear a lot of good reports about Martin Bakole in the gym and how good a fighter he is in the gym, but that's got to relate tomorrow night. By all means, if he puts it together, you know, and he can move, because he's got good movement there, Bakole, and he's got good hands. But it's just, I just don't like where he drops his hands, where he leaves his hands, and the positions and places he puts himself. It's very dangerous in the ring. You understand? So if he's fiddling, as he does fiddle around a lot of his shots. And Kuzmin can hit him in between it fiddling. So Bakole's there to be hit. As Kuzmin's there to be hit. But if I'm taking my chance this one, I'm leaning, from what I've seen, heavily towards Kuzmin in this one. I hope Bakole can prove me wrong, and he can transfer that brilliant gym form into a win. Yeah. So as you all know, this is on the big card between AJ and Pulev. I've done a big fight breakdown, and on top of that, I've done a special. We've done a 2-part special, which is AJ versus Pulev, and it's the reasons why Anthony Joshua will beat Kubrat Pulev. Check out that video and check out the part 2, the reasons why Kubrat Pulev will beat Anthony Joshua. So you get it both sides. There's no propaganda on the channel. Somebody came on and said, there's no propaganda on the channel. We're giving it to you both ways. Kubrat Pulev, Anthony Joshua. And that's what I did today. But obviously people know my opinion already, because I've done it time and time again for this fight. So, yes. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments, share the video, like the video. And I'll be back to talk about Hughie Fury, the curious case of Mr. Hughie Fury. That'll be the next video up here today on BWTM Online or BWTM Sports. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments, subscribe now. I'm out. Take care.